Spider-Man on PS5? Get that shit out of here. Show me the real Spider-Man. I said the real Spider-Man. Close. Perfection. Alright, so I'm going to make a confession. I'm not, nor have I ever been, a big comic book or superhero fan. Please don't kill me! But despite all that, I've always had a soft spot for Spider-Man. So back when I was a young whippersnapper and just getting into gaming, when I heard there was a Spider-Man game on PS1, I snapped that shit up in an instant. But is Spider-Man on PS1 as good as I remember? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? So the game was developed by Neversoft and, Jesus, based on this intro, you'd think you're about to play fucking Resident Evil or something. And published by Activision? Again? Oh my god, just imagine if they made Spider-Man 2018. You keep Bobby Kotick's grubby little hands away from my baby! It was released initially on the PS1 in 2000 and later ported to Game Boy Color, N64, Dreamcast, Windows and Mac. You know the drill by now, I've only played it on PS1 so that's what I'm talking about. So you start up the game and get treated to a nice rendition of the original theme song, just to get you in the mood for some web swinging and beating the shit out of some bad guys. Yeah! You select new game and then actually get to choose a difficulty level. Kid mode? I'm not a kid. I'm a man. So now it's time for the intro. You're at a science expo where Dr. Octavius is talking about his generic science thingamajigger-machine. But then there's trouble afoot. Holy shit, it's Spider-Man! But I thought I was Spider-Man, what the fuck? So the imposter Spider-Man steals Octavius's thingamajig, then catches Eddie Brock taking pictures of him and smashes his camera before escaping. Unable to contain his rage, the Venom symbiote within Brock resurfaces, taking control and swearing revenge on Spider-Man. That or he's just been bukkakied by the world's biggest biro pen. Later, two shadowy figures, nope, no idea who they are, use the thingamajigger to release fog which covers the entire city. Because, yeah, that's how that works. So you start the first mission and get to hear some words from Stan Lee himself. Man, was there anything Marvel related that he didn't have a cameo in? So you need to avoid the police and clear your name. But then Black Cat appears and, oh my god. Oh, Black Cat, honey, you've let yourself go. Anyway, she tells you the bank's being robbed and you need to go and save the hostages. So off you go. So what exactly can Spidey do? Well, he has just about all the abilities you'd expect him to have. He can run and jump and climb on walls and ceilings and web swing between buildings. And if you hold the L1 button, you can target your web. If you go to the blue question marks, Black Cat will give you some hints. Where do you come from? Are you just flying around above me? And what would a Spider-Man game be if you weren't beating the shit out of some bad guys? You can punch and kick, do a jump attack and some grapples, you can web people up, and if you tap the web button, you can use your impact weapon. You've also got some attacks that I'm still not even sure how to do. Seriously, how did I do that? So you make it to the bank and find out that the Jade Syndicate are behind the robbery. I've never heard of them. Maybe Marvel Wiki will know more. Oh. Okay. You get inside the bank and take out the robbers, rescuing hostages along the way. You've got to be quick because some of the robbers will kill the hostages if you don't take them out first. Man, these guys aren't fucking around. I also like that the bank is literally just called the bank. Oh, what bank are you with? I'm with the bank. Motherfucker. You get to the vault and find out that the robbers haven't just taken hostages, they've also brought a bomb. And not just any bomb, but a fucking nuke! Jesus, they saw Hans Gruber's plan and said hold my beer. So you take out the robbers and save the last of the hostages. But what about the bomb? Just hide in the vault, he'll be fine. Holy shit, that actually worked! Man, they weren't kidding when they said it could withstand a nuclear blast. So with the GIMP Syndicate's plan foiled, you can now focus on clearing your name. But it's gonna have to wait because now J. Jonah Jameson's got Scorpion after him, and you've got to save him. So now you've got to get over to the Daily Bugle before Scorpion kills Jameson. And I like this little meter that shows how much time you've got left by showing the distance between them. But isn't Scorpion already in Jameson's office? So what's taking him so long? I like to imagine that while you're doing this, Scorpion is just chasing Jameson round and round his desk like in a comedy sketch. So this seems like a good place to talk about the web swinging. It's pretty decent, especially considering this is the first Spider-Man game in 3D. It's well implemented and animated. It's fun and simple to do. I never had much difficulty with it, although it does have some limitations. Firstly, you can't control your direction once you've started a swing, so you need to make sure you're facing the exact way you want to go before you do. And secondly, while the game isn't really pedantic about it, you do need to be close to a building in order to swing from it, but it did sometimes seem a little inconsistent in how close I had to be, like sometimes I couldn't swing when I felt I should have been able to. So you make it to the Daily Bugle and then have to fight Scorpion in the first of several boss fights throughout the game. I have to admit, I did find some of the boss fights to be pretty difficult, a lot harder than I remember. It's difficult to get near them while also avoiding their attacks. You've got to get in fast, hit them, and then get out again before they can hit you. There's also no block or dodge buttons, so you've just got to jump away as fast as possible and hope they don't hit you. You can hit them with your web and throw objects at them, but they can close the distance between you and them pretty quick. I ended up just hitting them with the jump attack, and then jumping away again as fast as I could. Rinse and repeat. So you beat Scorpion, but then JJ sends the cops after you, the ungrateful old prick, and in the next level, you've got to escape from a police chopper that's chasing you across the city. You've got to swing from building to building while these fuckers are firing machine guns and rockets at you. Just destroy your own fucking city, why don't ya? Seriously, this chase goes on forever. You've got cops chasing you across rooftops and this chopper blowing shit up all around you. And for what? Because they think you stole some science thingamajig? Talk about police brutality. So eventually the chopper hits a transmitter tower or something and has to land, and Spider-Man shouts after them, asking if they're gonna pay for the tower. And what about the millions of dollars worth of other damage they caused? Then Black Cat turns up to tell you that now Rhino's up to no good, and that Venom's got a message for you. So then you head over to Times Square where you find out that Venom's kidnapped Mary Jane and she's got only 24 hours to live. Black Cat offers to go after Rhino herself, but Spidey insists on helping. You make it to Omnitech, but then Black Cat takes a big horn from behind and you have to face Rhino yourself. And oh god, look at that. So your fists alone aren't gonna cut it this time. Instead you've got to get old horny boy over here to charge at you, and then jump out of the way so he crashes into these electrical pylon things and gets electrocuted. That takes down the majority of his health, and then you just use the in-out jump attack trick for the rest. So at least there's a bit of variety in these boss fights. Most of them have some unique element to them, which is nice. So you beat Rhino and go to check on Black Cat, who's being taken away by paramedics. And oh yeah, those really look like paramedics to me. Now it's time to go after Venom and rescue Mary Jane. First he leads you on a chase through the city, then you've got to fight him in a back alley. And this is where the game really starts to get challenging. I swear I don't remember it being this hard. It makes me wonder, was 7-year-old me playing on kid mode all those years ago? Fucking pussy little bitch. So why is this fight harder? Well, first of all, Venom keeps teleporting all over the place. I didn't know he could do that. Then he has all these grab attacks that do a lot of damage. Oh god, I don't want to know where that tongue's been. And why does that do damage anyway? You're not even safe when you're far away cause he can grab you and drag you back over to him seemingly whenever he pleases. And it's really hard to avoid. The jump attack trick also doesn't work as well because it's harder to get away from him without getting grabbed. This is also when I started to notice another issue, and that's the camera. You don't actually have direct control over it. It moves when you do and mostly only faces the direction you're going in, so you can't keep an eye on what's going on behind you, which is pretty important for boss fights, especially with Venom, because you need to be able to see what the fucker's doing. So you finally beat him and he retreats into the sewers. You follow him and end up fighting agents of our true reptilian overlords. They're real, you know. They're controlling everything. They created 5G to rot our brains and turn us into mindless slaves for their new world order. Believe me, I know things. So the game really doesn't get any easier from here. As you pursue Venom through the sewers, you've got to fight more of these lizard men. They're pretty tough. They're not too bad on their own, but when you're facing a group of them, it doesn't take them long to drop your health if you're not careful. So it was about this point that I was starting to notice the repetitiveness of the combat. It doesn't really evolve as you progress, and your moveset's pretty limited, so most fights will boil down to just mashing the punch and kick buttons, while sometimes throwing in a jump attack or your weapon. There are a couple other moves you can use, but it doesn't really make much of a difference, and in the end you'll probably just forget that you have them. So you end up on top of a subway train where you've got to fight endless waves of lizard men, and then you go through a sewer maze where you actually meet the lizard, who tells you that Venom has imprisoned him and is using his lizard men against you. Oh, so it's not the, reptilian overlords. They're still real, you mark my words. The Earth's flat and all. You then find Mary Jane and confront Venom. This fight's pretty much the same as the last one, except now you've got to keep Mary Jane from drowning. You've got to flip switches to stop the water from filling up the tank or whatever that she's inside of. So you beat Venom again and tell him that you weren't the one who robbed the science show and smashed his camera, and he's just like, okay. You save Mary Jane and that's that. Man, Peter's going to be in for some awkward conversations when he gets home. So now that you and Venom are besties, you can get back to finding out who framed you. So you head over to the Daily Bugle again, to use the computer there. Okay, whatever. But there's more trouble afoot when Venom senses Carnage and takes off after him, leaving you to fight sentient Barney the Dinosaur Splooge. Okay, it turns out they're actually symbiotes, like the one inside Eddie Brock. But where are they coming from? Why, they're coming from these generators, of course. Yeah. So the symbiotes are actually the toughest regular enemies to fight. Webbing them doesn't work, and they can take a lot of damage, to the point where, for a while, I actually thought they were invincible. If you hit them enough times, they will die, but to be honest, you're better off just avoiding them for the time being. They can hit you when you're crawling on walls as well, just to be even more annoying. So you've got to destroy the symbiote generators. You do that by kicking the big, bulging, pulsating splooge containers on the sides. Eventually you do find some fire weapon that lets you burn the remaining symbiotes to death. How violent. And then you go down to the Daily Bugle's basement, where you've got to destroy a few more generators, and then you chase down the imposter Spider-Man, who turns out to be... So now you've got to fight Mysterio. He wasn't too hard. You just run around him and avoid his attacks, and then hit the targets on his suit. This was a good boss fight. Out of all of them, this was the most unique. That's something I liked about this game, the variation in the boss fights. Each one has some aspect that sets it apart from the rest, which isn't something I've really come across much so far when I've been revisiting these games. So you beat Mysterio and he tells you that the fog covering the city is part of a planned symbiote invasion, and not just a contrived device to explain why Spider-Man can't go down the street due to the limitations of game design at the time. He also tells you about a warehouse that serves as the entrance to a secret lab that's the source of the symbiotes. So you head over to the warehouse, hi Punisher, bye Punisher, and discover more generators to destroy and more symbiotes to burn. Luckily there's more fire web and also flammable barrels you can throw at them. At this point I was really digging the sound design. The music up until now was okay, but in this level it really kicked ass. Same for the sound effects. To tell you the truth, the symbiotes creeped me out when I was a kid, not least because of the sounds they make, like when they get burned. So then you find the entrance to the lab, and then you come to this. This bit. This motherfucking bit. Okay, so I admit I found this game quite a bit harder than I remember. Maybe I was playing on a lower difficulty when I was a kid, I don't know. For the most part, the game was challenging but manageable. But this bit? Fuck this bit. This bit was the absolute fucking worst. Why? Well, let's break this down. So you've got to go through this underwater bit that looks like the fucking Forerunners built it. You can't touch most of the walls and floor because you'll get electrocuted and die instantly. So you've got to swing between these platforms. But then you've also got these fucking laser turrets shooting at you. So you've got to time your swings just right, because if they hit you mid-swing, you fall and land on the floor and get electrocuted. You're better off using the targeted swing for some of the jumps, but with the turrets shooting at you, you don't get much time to aim before they hit you. So finally you make it through. Save my progress? Yes, please do. I never want to play through that fucking bit ever again. So then you rescue Black Cat, stop the fog, and now it's time to find out who's behind all this bullshit. And it's...
Wait, you?
Oh, it's Dr. Octavius. Wow. I would never have seen that coming. So Venom and Carnage get into a cat fight, leaving you to face Octavius. This fight's pretty simple. You've got to hit these switches to overload Octavius' shield. When the shield comes down, run in and beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Do that a few times and that's that. Next you've got to fight Carnage. He's not too bad either. He's a symbiote, so beating the shit out of him isn't going to cut it. Instead you've got to knock him into this sonic bubble thing. Do that a bunch of times and there you go. So with Ock and Carnage beaten, the fog gone and the base falling apart, looks like Spidey saves the day again. But wait, what? Holy shit, what the fuck is that? Jesus Christ, Carnage and Doc Ock rolled into one? Even Spidey's like, fuck that shit. So in the last bit, you've got to get away from the Monster Ock and escape the base. It's not too bad. As long as you keep moving, he'll not catch you. You can web swing to move faster, but you've got to be careful, because if your angle's off a little, you'll end up getting stuck on a wall and then the motherfucker catches you. And I will admit that this thing freaked me out when I was a kid. It's just so freaky looking. It looks like Doc Ock's been skinned alive. And the sounds it makes. Jesus. So Ock gets deep fried, you escape the base, and then Captain America turns up in his fancy fucking ship and saves you. Thanks, mate. Turn up at the end after I've done all the fucking work. Where were you when I needed you? Probably take all the credit too, huh? Nice one, mate. So after a job well done, Spidey and the others celebrate with a game of poker and... Human Torch? Where the fuck were you? Fire kills symbiotes, we could have had this shit over with in 5 fucking minutes, dickhead! And Doc Ock gets to live out the rest of his days in prison with the other bad guys. Don't drop the soap, Ock, especially when Rhino's around. So that's Spider-Man on PS1, but we've actually still got quite a bit to talk about. Let's talk about the story. Admittedly, as a kid, I wasn't really paying much attention. I was just having fun being Spider-Man. But playing now as an adult, it's fine. It does the job. Alright, so it's not great. It doesn't make much sense when you actually stop and think about it. There's characters that turn up for literally no reason whatsoever and have no impact on the story, and it's obviously written for people who are already fans of Spider-Man and are familiar with the characters. Like for instance, it never actually explains what the symbiotes are or where they came from. But I could ultimately forgive all this, considering that at the time, video games still weren't really considered the legitimate storytelling medium that they are now. And what about voice acting? Again, it's fine. It was never going to win any awards, but it's good enough. Some of Spidey's one-liners were pretty funny though. The graphics are fairly decent, at least for the time. There's not much point in critiquing them too much, given their age. At least they're bright and colourful, and they did get the looks of the characters down for the most part, even if some of the character models aren't particularly flattering, right Kat? Although I do have one thing to point out, and I do realise that it's probably a result of the limitations of the time, but I found it disconcerting whenever the camera would focus on a character's face when they were talking, but their mouths weren't moving. Yeah, I did find that a bit immersion breaking. Although I don't know, maybe in this universe everyone's just a master ventriloquist. Also, just as an aside, I didn't realise until doing research for this script that the graphics on the Dreamcast version were actually noticeably better than on the PS1 version. Look at that! Look how much more detailed the character models are! So there are a couple other gameplay aspects that I haven't mentioned yet. I did like the level design. There's quite a bit of variety in the environments, from the rooftops to the bank to the sewers and to the secret lab. The gameplay also has a bit of variety. While it is pretty linear, there is a good mix of platform and combat, exploration, time and distance based objectives, and some light puzzle solving, so you're not just going around beating up bad guys for the whole game, which is nice. There are comic books hidden in each level that unlock extra Spidey suits for you to wear, some of which give you extra powers like increased health or unlimited web. And let's remember that this was published by Activision. If this was made today, you wouldn't have to find comic books to unlock the suits. You'd have to head over to the store and then Bobby Kotick will probably pop up and be like, "That'll be $3.99 please." There's also some extra training modes where you can take part in timed challenges. You've got Time Attack, where you've got to fuck up as many bad guys as possible in the time limit. Survival, where you've got to hold out as long as you can against endless waves of enemies. Speed Training, where you can test your web swinging abilities by going through various courses as fast as you can. Target Practice, where you've got to web the enemy targets while avoiding your allies. Except for Aunt May, you see that bitch, you give her a face full of the white stuff. And finally, Item Collection, where you've got to collect as many coins as you can. You hit the floor and Bug Boy goes bzzz. But in all honesty, there's not much point to these challenges. You don't unlock anything from them, and unless you've got someone else to play with, you'll just end up with a leaderboard full of just your own name, and if you're like me, you'll play them once, then just forget about them. So in conclusion, Spider-Man on PS1 is a mostly fun but flawed game that hasn't aged all that gracefully. The gameplay is decent overall, but it's far from perfect. The web swinging and platforming are pretty good, but outside of boss fights, the combat is repetitive to the point of becoming monotonous at times. Presentation wise, it's fine. The story's fine for what it is, same with the voice acting and graphics. The music's pretty decent also. Overall, despite its flaws, it was an enjoyable experience and I was happy to revisit it. So Neversoft continued for quite a few years before eventually being merged with Infinity Ward in 2014. They made a lot of the Tony Hawk games. Oh really, I would never have guessed! Some of the Guitar Heroes, and worked on a few Call of Duty games. Wow, which ones did they work on? Oh. Oh! And Activision? Nope. No idea what happened to them. So that was another fun trip down memory lane. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, which, again, you probably did if you made it this far. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and who knows, maybe in 20 years I'll get round to looking at Spider-Man 2018. Thanks again.